So, good afternoon, my dear friends. This is past Governor Angshuman Bandopadhyay, Chairman of this Rotary Zone 4567 website and app. Welcoming you once again on behalf of the entire masterclass team for this weekly masterclass Wednesday at 4:30. You all are aware that this facilities we have started from 1st January 2020. It was previously known as rotaryindia.org, but now we have expanded our wings and we made it Zone 4567 on the advice of the Rotary International Directors from our zone, so that Nepal, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka, Maldives can also join our initiatives. You are all aware that this platform was initially formed to allow every Rotarian and every Rotary club to upload their service projects to our portal so that we can measure that club-wise, district-wise, zone-wise, and our country-wise, what is the value of our project, what is the impact of the project, how many man-hours we have been involved, the Rotarians have involved themselves, so that at any point of time, if we want to approach either any corporates or any government departments, by the click of a mouse, in any of these 7 areas of focus, the projects that has been done by the club, by the district, by the zone, or even by the states of India also, we can filter and we can show it to the entire world. But gradually, on the request of the Rotarians, the Rotary clubs, and the Rotary districts, we have added a number of value-added services. Now, using this portal, the district governors are doing their district governor official visit, entire documents checking online. The assistant governors also are checking all the documents online. The clubs are uploading the documents on their portal. The clubs can generate the club monthly report, and it automatically goes to the district governor, the assistant governors, and other club members to have a first-hand information that what the club has done, not only in service projects, the fellowship, the club meeting, anything and everything the club can upload. Now, every districts in India, for every districts in India, every year, we develop the free website for them. Every district's website are now look similar, so that anybody can browse through this website. They can do it very easily. And we also offer to develop club websites. There are a number of districts in our country, you will be very happy to know, 100% of their clubs have developed their website through our portal. There is a very little charge on it. And everything is now online. And for last 2-3 years, again, we have developed some value-added features. This masterclass, you know, that normally we start it in the month of April or May before the start of the Rotary year. And we invite all the incoming president, secretaries, assistant governors, and the incoming district officials to have a first-hand knowledge and information about what are available in this website and app and how best they can use it. And the best part of our portal is whatever information that you upload, it is never deleted. In Rotary.org, the membership data and the service projects data gets deleted after 5 years. But in our system, it never deleted. We have another benefit. If your club is a 20, 30, or 50 years old club, if you have in your database some details of the project that your club has done in the earlier years, we give the facility to upload those projects also with the description free of cost. So suppose in our district, Rotary Club of Calcutta was chartered in 1920. If they have any projects in 1925, 100 years ago, they can today upload it to our portal and that will remain there forever.
Let me just check if there's a problem.
Yeah. Then for the last 2-3 years, we have doing some more value-added services. We are inviting some very senior and knowledgeable Rotarians in our master class and request them to discuss and deal with some of the very, very useful contemporary topics that can have interest to all the Rotarians and Rotary clubs. We have done it on membership, we have done it on public image, we have done it on the Rotary Foundation also in the past. We have involved the Rotary South Asia office staffs also. The RI directors also joined our master class and they deliberated with the participants. So we are continuing with that. So today also is one such day that we have invited our very dear friend, a very senior Rotarian, past district governor, Dr. N. Subramanian, normally known to us as Dr. Subra. Welcome, Dr. Subra, to Rotary India Masterclass. Dr. Subra is a very senior consultant, urological surgeon, and clinical advisor. He did his MS and his double FRCS from Glasgow and FRCS from Edinburgh. He was the former Director, Medical Services and Medical Advisor, Apollo Hospitals, Delhi. He was the District Governor of Rotary Districts. The district is now 3011 in 2016-17. Currently, he is a Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator. We normally call RRFC for Zone 4 from 2023 to 2026. Previously, he was Assistant Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator, RRFC, from 2018 to 2020. He was the Rotary Foundation Technical Cadre from 2021 to 2024. He was also the End Polio Now Coordinator, we call it EPNC of Region 4, in 2020 to 23. He was also the RIPR in 2019 and RI Zone 4567 Rotary Institute Secretary also in 2018. He was training facilitator in GATES and GNTS. I had the privilege of working together. He was Chairman Emeritus of RDK, President Rotary 3010 Education Foundation as well. He was the trustee of Neuro Aid and Research Foundation, Samriddhi Foundation. He is married to Dr. Lalita. She is also a doctor, a senior consultant anesthesiology. They are all Paul Harris Fellow, Paul Harris Society Fellow, Polio Plus Society members, benefactors, and Arts Club Society members. So there cannot be a better friends and Rotarians whom we have invited and requested to deal with a topic, building a better tomorrow. Why every Rotarian's contribution to the Rotary Foundation matters. I still remember, if we talk about 10 or 15 years back, even a district governor, if he or she could have 1 or 2 AKS members, he or she could have been very happy. 10 major donors could fill his or her cup. But now the situation has changed. India, not only we boast being the second largest contributor, on a single day, the recently concluded Chennai summit, the leadership summit, on one single day, we have 31 AKS, 29 endowment and major gift. So phenomenal. Now, even for AKS and endowment, we are thinking and dreaming on hundreds, not on 1, 2, 5 or 10. So why? Why this paradigm shift and change? Why the mindset has changed? It is because every Rotarian contribution to the Rotary Foundation matters. How it matters? Now let us hear from the person who has the hands-on experience over the years. Dr. Subba, once your presentation finishes, we will take question and answer session. we will request all the participants to raise their virtual hand, and one of Naren Rao's office representative, once he will unmute that Rotarian, and he will ask question, and Dr. Subba will take up that question. And by today evening, the entire proceedings of today's will be mailed to everyone who has registered in today's proceedings, along with a link for the YouTube channel. We have our exclusive YouTube channel, whereby today evening today's entire proceedings will be uploaded. And even if those who have not been able to attend today's master class, they will also be able to view today's presentation. And it will be there for lifelong as well. So it will be also a permanent repository of your presentation, Dr. Subha. So once again, on behalf of Rotary India Masterclass team or Rotary Zone 4567 Masterclass team, I welcome you all the past governors, the incoming governors, all the club presidents, secretaries, the assistant governors, and all the senior and new Rotarians. Welcome to this masterclass, and over to Dr. Sub.
Thank you, Past District Governor Anshuman, for the opportunity to share some of my thoughts and also understand from others their perception of the Rotarians, the Rotary, and the Rotary Foundation. I think you very elegantly indicated how we have been functioning to share information and how we are able to maintain records, update our records, etc. Because at the end of the day, for you and I, Rotary and Rotarians is about voluntary service. Very often people ask you this question: is Rotary and Rotarians contributing more, or what is the foundation of the Rotary? What is the contribution of the Rotary Foundation? You know, all of us who are present here today on a working day at 4:30 are obviously very committed Rotarians. I'm not suggesting that the others are not, but of course, it's very, very heartening to see that you and I are here to discuss, share ideas, so that whatever we have been doing well, we want to do it better. And whatever we think we might not have achieved in the past, we are hoping to achieve. So to me, when you look at the Rotary International, of which we are all members, committed to the service to create a better world, and the Rotary Foundation are actually just the two arms of the same primary body. So first, I wanted to talk about how proud I am to be a Rotarian, and I'm sure how proud you are as a Rotarian yourself, for us to understand the magnitude of the organization itself. Then we will discuss briefly about how large our contributions are in terms of what we have achieved. You know, sometimes when you talk about the Rotary Foundation, some people ask me, why are we talking about money? Why are we talking about dollars? Did we become Rotarians to just collect money? The answer, you know and I know, is a very emphatic no. You and I are here to provide service, committed service, organized service, using all our resources. The biggest resource we have, of course, is the time and the talent of every Rotarian and the family members of the Rotary. So let us begin by looking at how large is our organization. Can we share the screen?
Once, please.
Can anybody see my screen?
Yes, yes.
I am not able to see it too well. Can
Oh,
somebody help me there?
yeah, it is clear, Subha. You can open your presentation. This is the last slide, yes.
Yeah. So what we were talking about is building a better tomorrow. Why every Rotarian's contribution to the TRF matters. Let's go back to 1905 when there was no Rotary. So just a handful of people coming together based on the thoughts of one individual started as a fellowship of people coming together. And today we know that the same thought of people coming together to create service of such tremendous value that we are there all across the world. So let me briefly show you how big we are. We are present in over 220 countries. We are present in over 34 zones, over 535 districts, with over close to around 40,000 plus clubs today. So that is how large we are as an organization. The pride does not come from how large we are. It comes from the fact that we are able to provide service in such wide geographical areas with such diverse needs for a great support to create a population which is going to be better tomorrow than it is today. Let's also look at the number of people, our partners in service. Apart from the Rotary clubs all over the world, we also have the Rotaractors, the young generation of active thinking participants who partner with us and would help us to carry out our projects in a much better manner. We have the Interact clubs, where the young people between the ages of 12 and 18 in their formative years are not only able to understand the value that they can bring to their community, but also develop immense qualities in terms of organization, skill, leadership, and so many other things. Now, if you can see, the membership is all across the world. You can see everywhere from down under in Australia to right up north in Canada and the United States. We have Rotarians all over the world. There are not many organizations which can talk about thriving beyond 120 years with a membership of over 1.2 million members and their families. Now, I'm going to give you some astounding figures. Again, the idea is not about the figures. It is about our magnitude and how what we have managed to assume and managed to create in all these years. So when you look at the screen, if you look at the number of zeros, you actually have to wait and count the zeros to see how big they are. That is the quantum of the work which you and I have done as Rotarians, but through the Rotary Foundation. 3 billion is the number of children who have been immunized against polio. 3 billion, you can imagine the number. When the polio program started, there were 350,000 cases where children became paralyzed because of polio. But since we started in 1988, we have protected at least 19 million children, nearly 2 crores of children who would have otherwise been paralyzed, but are walking like you and me, working like you and me, contributing to the society's development like you and me. 2 crores of people who would have otherwise been dependent on their family, on the government, on their friends. Today, they are productive like you and me. When you look at the amount of money that's been spent on the projects by the Rotary Foundation, it is over $4 billion. Approximately works out to 35,000 crores in rupees. But what you and I must also understand, this is only the money which is spent through the Rotary Foundation. Every club, every member is also doing projects which are beyond what is quantified here. We have not only looked at doing projects to improve water sanitation, hygiene, or education, or health, or economic empowerment, but we have also played a big role in education at various levels. The number of scholarships, as you can see on the screen, is immense. Since 1947, the number of ambassadorial scholarships that were created were larger than the number of Rhodes Scholars, which has been existent for such a long time. Creating world understanding and peace has been one of the aims of Rotary. The reason I'm mentioning this right up front in the beginning is because you and I, normally when we talk about Rotary, Rotarians, and the projects, we normally talk in terms of grants, be it projects, be it district grants, global grants, etc. But we must understand that our work goes way beyond just the grants that we do. We have created 9 peace centers in the world. The peace centers in the world across the globe bring together people who are from various walks of life, including the judiciary, law enforcement, social work, political sciences, humanities, who come together to create the right atmosphere for peace between nations, peace within nations, peace within the people who have to migrate for various reasons. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. 70 million is the number of people who are victims of migration, which could be due to wars, which could be due to malpractices in other areas, and due to other economic reasons as well. The Peace Center, we are very happy. The first person who conceived the thought of creating peace institutes was our own past RI president, Raja Sabu. And over the years, it's expanded so well that we are about to launch the first such center in India itself at the Symbiosis University in Pune in February 2026. We all know about the grant models. We all know about what used to be called the group study exchanges, which basically meant that young professionals from different countries went to another country, stayed with the families of some of the people, learned the nuances of the work in their particular areas of work, and at the same time, understanding the way the other communities lived. I mean, can you think of a better way of integrating the world and bringing people together on understanding? The group study exchange does not exist anymore. However, a variant of the group study exchange, which is called the VTT, or the vocational training teams, continue to achieve the same thing, where people from different countries either visit countries to provide training and service, or visit a country to learn newer skills, to come back and apply those skills for the betterment of their own communities. We have the Rotary Friendship Exchanges, where people from different parts of the world go and stay with families on a reciprocal basis and are able to understand the lifestyles, the emotional connects, the habits, the cultures, and the evolution of the societies very well. all these, you and I know, will lead to much better understanding of each other and will automatically reduce the potential for conflicts in the world. Then we have the youth exchange, where youngsters from high school or the universities visit other countries for variable period of time, again on a reciprocal basis, and we learn to understand each other and learn newer methodology, newer methods of learning, newer methods of applying what they have learned, etc. We have the Rotary action groups, which look at specific areas of concern. For instance, you could have a Rotary action group which could focus on water sanitation hygiene. It could focus on child labor. It could focus on specific action which will address some of the concerns over the world. We have the Rotary fellowships, where people with specific interests, it could be music, it could be golf, it could be biking, it could be adventure sports, and various other things where people of the different parts of the world come together and are able to interact and create so many beautiful memories for themselves. So now let us look at what and all this, as you can realize, has happened because we have been able to support all these activities, and we have been doing it through our Rotary Foundation. Now let's briefly look at what our foundation has been doing. 108 years of continuous service. Every year we have done better than what we did the previous year. In terms of our transparency, our stewardship, and our reporting practices, we have, for the 16th consecutive year, received the highest rating by the Charity Navigator, because all our processes are very, very transparent. Our accounting practices are excellent. Our record keeping is beyond any doubt, and hence we are a very highly trusted partner in these things. Here I feel very proud to add that when it came to the question of trying to eradicate polio, the only organization which had the courage to take up such a global project and subsequently joined hands with such partners of high value like the WHO, the Centers for Disease Control, the Bill and the Melinda Gates Foundations, the Gavi Foundation for vaccines. Now, these are all organizations which have brought immense value to the world, and they have been very, very happy with us as partners because we bring immense value. Apart from all these factors, we have the largest number of committed volunteers on the ground. Like they say, hands for service, feet on the ground. That is what you and I are. What started with what appears to a very meager amount today of $26.5 million, $26.5, we have already spent over $4 billion in projects around the world. India, for most of us, we must feel very proud. We rank the second highest in contributions to the Rotary Foundation. Last year, Rotarians from India contributed a massive sum of $38 million. Not a small sum by any stretch of the imagination. We surpassed our own goals and targets, much to our surprise. I don't know whether I should say surprised, because knowing Rotarians, nothing is ever impossible for them. One of my very dear friends, who's very candid, said, "Why are we giving so much money to the foundation? Why are we sending money to the United States for the foundation?" So I told him something which is very basic, and I am going to share that with you. Every penny that you and I contribute is used for our own projects in our own communities, in our own areas. So the money that you actually donate to the Rotary Foundation, my dear friend, is used for the projects which is better for your own community. That is the best part of the whole thing here. But having said that, while we rank second in contributions, I think each of you as a rotation should feel proud. We rank the highest number of global grants in the world is done by Rotarians from our part of the world. The largest number of grants. And for those who may not be aware, countries which rank number 2, 3, 4, and 5 put together do not do as many projects that you and I do in our part of the world. So what we are doing is donating generously, but making sure that every penny gets spent for the betterment for our world. Do you know last year, Rotarians from the world raised over $500 million, over $500 million, approximately 4,000 crores. We also had an endowment challenge of $2.025 billion, which we have surpassed, which is not surprising considering what you and I do. So here I bring together what we do as Rotarians and how do we do these through the foundation. So our idea was to create peace and world understanding by improving the health, bettering the education, alleviating suffering through all the areas of focus, which include disease prevention and treatment, water sanitation and hygiene, basic education and literacy, maternal and child health, community and economic development, peace and conflict resolution, and environment sustainability. And how do we do this? We do it through various projects and programs. I mentioned to you about the Polio Plus. I mentioned to you about the various types of grants, which include the district grants, the global grants, the disaster management grants, the programs of scale grants, through various scholarships, through study exchanges, vocational training teams, and lastly, the peace fellowships. You and I would be proud to realize that the global grants have by and large been of such high value that whatever we contribute as individuals and as clubs are able to achieve much larger purposes because of the ability to multiply the value of what we are doing, both in terms of talent, in terms of expertise, and in terms of financial resources as well. But before I go into that, I will briefly talk about the various types of grants. As I said, we have the district grants, which are smaller grants done within the district, where the governor allocates a part of the district designated fund towards smaller projects, which the clubs are able to do from contributions of their own and supported by funds from the district funds. The global grants, where you contribute funds, the district contributes some funds, your overseas partners bring in some additional funds, the overseas districts give you some funds, and some of which is matched by the World Fund of the Rotary Foundation. We have disaster response grants. Over the years, we've all seen the earthquakes, the tsunamis, man-made situations like in the wars. We have had earthquakes causing disasters in the world. Rotarians have stepped forward every time without fail. When you look around people sitting today in this group, the recent floods, the recent disasters in Punjab, Himachal, Rajasthan, Haryana, you would realize how prompt members from the Rotary were to immediately jump to help people recover and to rehabilitate them. We have programs of scale grants. You wonder what these are? These are really projects which are of a national scale. You know, we set out with targets like a malaria-free Zambia. Imagine getting rid of the deaths due to malaria in a country. Not something that service organizations do, but we did get into it and with a great deal of success. We talked about maternal and child health in Nigeria to bring down maternal and child mortality and improve their health. We talk about a cervical cancer-free Egypt by promoting, supporting awareness and promoting the vaccination of the HPV vaccinations. The fourth program of scale grant came to one of our own districts, my own district, where a comprehensive program on water management, on comprehensive soil management, education and enhancement of farmers and their earnings and plantations, and of course, protecting the environment. Now, let me take you to the benefit of how the global grants work. I want you to focus on the concept of this slide rather than just the figures. If you look at this, I've taken 4 projects which I'm familiar with, just to explain to you the value. कई बार हम लोग ये सुनते हैं that people say, well, I do good charity on my own. My club does its own project. Why do I need to do global grants? Now look at the figures, you will understand why. In the first one, a club contributes $11,000, which is less than 10 lakhs. But look at the project value after everybody has contributed. It is $73,000. Nearly 7 times the value that you could have created from your own contributions. Look at the next one. 5 clubs came together, adopted a club food program in 5 different government hospitals. 5 different hospitals, different clubs coming together for 3 consecutive years. The value of contribution from the clubs was only $40,000. But the value of the project, with contributions coming from the Rotary Foundation, from the international partners, from the DDF, etc., 127,000, more than 3.5 times. So what you and I talk about global grants is, me as a member of a club or my club, members would contribute a certain amount of contribution to a particular project, which we find is necessary for our community. We get in touch with our foreign partners. Both the clubs and districts would contribute some contribution according to their ability. But not only are they contributing financially, they are bringing ideas to see how best to carry out the projects, how best to monitor our progress, and how best to monitor the impact created by these projects. So coming together, it's a matter of bringing together ideas, exchange thoughts, bring experts together, and at the end, bringing all of that to make a grand project for the welfare of the society. Now, where and how do the funds come into the Rotary Foundation? So let's briefly talk about the different methods of giving to the Rotary Foundation. The Polio Plus Fund, as we know. We in India have been polio free for the last 14 years, despite all the various handicaps that we would have had. But that is not only because of you and me. It is because of the government agencies and all Rotarians from all across the world who contributed both financially, by physically being present, supporting the immunization program. When we talk about the annual fund, this, my dear friend, is the lifeline of Rotary. you and I contribute small amounts of funds to the Rotary Foundation every year. This amount gets collected in the Rotary Foundation, gets invested for 3 years, and from that investment, 50% or 47.5% comes back to your district as a DDF after 3 years. But that's not where it stops. When you start doing a grant with the projects coming from the support coming from outside, including the World Fund, you could see from the previous slide, you are getting way above what you have contributed. It is a way of sustaining the foundation. So whatever you would contribute, whatever I would contribute, will mean that if you and I contribute a small amount every year to the foundation, that is the way we will meet our immediate needs to do our large programs. What about the endowment? Endowment is where the money is invested. The basic capital or the basic principle is not used at all. However, the returns are used for various projects. As you can see very well, the endowment of $2.025 billion is going to generate funds every year, and districts which have done the endowments will get the returns to be spent in their own districts for the projects of their choice. Then you have what we call the directed gifts. These are gifts which individuals can give. The benefit here is if I give money towards a project in my area, it gets implemented right in front of my eyes. So I can see that the projects get completed in the area where I think it benefits people the most. The amount is not very large. We are talking about a sum of $30,000. $30,000 will achieve a brilliant project which you have conceived as per the needs of your community, supported by your district, by your club and other people. You achieve a lot. Of late, we have been very fortunate in our part of the world also to get CSR contributions, the corporate social responsibility, which you and I are able to work together with large companies. They contribute financially. You and I, as tireless workers, implement the project because we are amongst the most experienced in our ability to be able to implement the grants. So the annual fund, as I said, is basically supporting the club and the district projects. And the contributions that we make are credited to the donors club and applies to the club's goal. They are eligible for individual and club recognitions. Sometimes many Rotarians feel, are we contributing for recognition? I'm sure we are not contributing for recognition. But as human beings, a pat on the back, a recognition, and a reward, each one of us appreciates being appreciated. So I think it's a fantastic way of doing things. I'm so passionate about the Rotary Foundation that I could go on and on and on. But I'm sure many of you who have joined us today are experienced Rotarians who may want to express your own views, may want to express some new ideas, may want to raise some questions. So without saying any more, let me thank the organizers for the opportunity to freely share my thoughts with each one of you. I'd be delighted to answer any questions and would be very happy to share, for you to share your thoughts and for me to go home as a more educated Rotarian. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Subba. It was an excellent presentation on the foundation, very script to the point, and you have explained it thoroughly. So thank you very much once again. I'm sure there will be some questions, but the way you have explained it, I don't think there will be many queries or questions. But as usual, we welcome any thoughts, any questions, or any discussions from any of the participants today. Please raise your virtual hand, and I request once to unmute yourself so that you can ask your question. Anybody has any question there, or share anything more what Dr. Subba has added through your own experiences in your district or in your clubs? Yes.
I think PDG SS has a comment to make.
Good evening, Dr. Subra.
Yeah.
Thank you for that excellent presentation. Just I want to know how much Rotary has spent on polio by its own itself. Rotary, how much so far Rotary has spent on polio, and how much money Rotary has gathered from others.
Okay.
Do you have any statistics on that?
Right. Okay. See, there are two components, as you said. One is the financial component, and the other is, of course, the various other supports that we have received from other components. Rotary's contribution is estimated to be over $2 billion on the Rotary. When you look at the partners who have come into the program, we all know that every year, 50 million that we average, that we spend on polio or contribute towards polio, we have an addition from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation by 100 million. So it's a 2:1 match that we get from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation alone. When you look at the contributions which come from various governments, if you recall a few years ago, the individual governments, groups, the European Union, the British governments, the Arabian Emirates, Canadian government, Japanese government, they all have periodically also added on to the funds available for the Rotary. When it comes to the non-financial components of it, obviously Gavi contributes significantly in terms of the supply and other parts of it. Every government which has been part of the immunization program has also supported by providing not only the government staff, but also the government mechanisms, the entire logistics, etc. And they have particularly been very, very effective. So that is the part which we know we cannot quantify, but needless to say, it is of immense value.
Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation till date has contributed around $1 billion US. That is for record. But yes, Dr. Subba has correctly said, the contribution from various government and other agency that cannot be quantified. But I can share one of my experiences. We had been to the Atlanta Convention where the centennial celebration of the Rotary Foundation was done. Kollan Banerjee was the chairman. In that year, in the convention itself, on a special session on polio, the various government agencies were there for 6 or 7 governments, as Dr. Subba said. On a single platform, on a single day, they committed to contribute more than 700 million US dollar. So you can well imagine over the years how much that together we have been able to contribute. I'm sure it would not be total contribution from all together, not be less than 5 billion US dollar. It can be even more. Yes.
May I add here,
Yeah.
when we talk about polio contributions, especially from our part of the world, we must mention the one person who has contributed consistently
Yes.
to the polio, is Mrs. Rajshri Birla, who has till now contributed 12 million US dollars as an individual. She perhaps would remain one of the highest individuals to have contributed to the polio.
Correct, correct. Yes. Thank you, Subha, for reminding us that.
Thank you.
Okay. Rajesh ji, you can unmute yourself. Yes.
नमस्कार डॉक्टर सुब्रमण्यन
नमस्कार
सर।
राकेश जी, नमस्कार।
जैसे आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन तो इतनी बढ़िया थी कि मेरे को लगा जैसे मैं मास्टर इंजीनियरिंग की क्लास में बैठा हूँ और कोई प्रोफेसर साहब बता रहे हैं और मैंने कॉपी पेन लेके आपके नोट्स बना लिए हैं। तो सर मेरी 2 ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैं
जी।
एक तो आपने कहा कि हम रोटरी फाउंडेशन की कंट्रीब्यूशन में वर्ल्ड में सेकंड है। मैंने कहीं पढ़ा था कि पर कैपिटा जो हमारी कंट्रीब्यूशन है रोटरी फाउंडेशन की वो $50-60 के करीब है, जो कि यूएस और अदर कंट्रीज की $150 और $200 के करीब है। तो क्या सर कोई मैं आपसे ये सुझाव ले सकता हूँ कि इसको पर कैपिटा को कैसे इंक्रीज करें?
मेरे ख्याल में आज के जो हमने सेशन जो आज हम कर रहे हैं, इसमें अगर if there was only one question of value, I think this will be the question.
थैंक यू।
मैं जब आपको पहले बता रहा था आपको कि when you look at अभी पिछले साल जो हम लोगों का जो रहा है, out of the top 50 countries in total contribution, 9 out of our districts, 9 out of the districts were in the top 50 out of 540 districts. But per capita giving, we were not in the top 50 at all.
yes.
So that is an unfortunate fact. Now, the obvious answer is, what should we do about it? If we look at the statistics across, it is only about 36 to 38% of Rotarians have been contributing towards a Rotary Foundation. मैं उनकी बात कर रहा हूं जिन्होंने कभी कुछ फाउंडेशन को दिया हो. That's only 38%, 1 in 3. We also know that we don't need to give big amounts. All that we need to do is that if I as a Rotarian believes it's my responsibility, it's my foundation, if I were to contribute a very small sum, आप समझो, if I were to say I will contribute $100 to the foundation, not a very big amount, 8,600 rupees or 8,800 rupees in today's conversion rate, once in a year. Okay? You are talking about less than 700 rupees a month, less than 25 rupees a day. There is no Rotarian who will not want to contribute that kind of money. Sometimes the challenge is that people sometimes may not remember, may not be organized. That is why today you can all do it by the online payment. You can do it through direct banking instructions. Many of us who are Paul Harris Society members make an annual contribution of $1,000, and it is already there. Instructions are there with our credit cards. So I would request everybody to not only think of contributing just $100. I'm not saying कि ज़्यादा नहीं करना है. जितना ज़्यादा करेंगे उतना बढ़िया है. But at least $100 which we can all contribute is number one. But in Rotary, more than giving is also about asking. Let us not only contribute, let us also ask all our friends, remind all our friends. And Rakesh, I must congratulate you because I love to see that picture of Paul Harris right behind you.
Thank you, sir.
A wonderful picture, and it really shows the commitment of yours as a Rotarian. Thank you for that
Thank
question.
you. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Dhanyavad ji. Dhanyavad, sir. Thank you very much.
Anyone else has any question or observation or thoughts? If you have any, or otherwise, we'll close the session. So thank you very much, Dr. Subba, once again, on behalf of the entire masterclass team. I find our zonal coordinator of this platform from Zone 6, Past District Governor Prabir Chatterjee. Prabir, you can unmute and you can unmute and you can share a little bit about your thoughts, or even you can propose the formal vote of thanks, whatever you would like to.
Thank you, Prabir.
Thank you, Anshumanda. Thank you very much. And really, it's my pleasure to offer the formal vote of thanks to our Dr. Subba ji. Sir, you are always great, you know very well. And the way actually I met him during Aniruddha, had a small problem in the heart. So we went to his hospital and we stayed there for the whole night. And that was a Rotarian. And that too a Rotarian spirit. And I really admire that. And this is how we always been a very passionate Rotarian all over. Thank you, Shumanda. Thank you, Narendra, for organizing this Zoom meeting every week relentlessly. And thank you again, Dr. Subba, so for your presence and fantastic, though I missed the first part of the earlier part actually. So anyway, thank you so much. And a very, very good evening to each one present here today. In east of India, we are observing Vishwakarma Puja today.
That's right.
It's actually a goddess Vishwakarma, you know. So we are observing the puja. So may Lord Vishwakarma bless us and we be a very good Rotarian and a committed Rotarian. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good day. Enjoy Rotary. And in advance, the festival greetings. The Navaratri will start from next week. So happy advance Navaratri. Enjoy the puja, enjoy the festivals, and enjoy Rotary. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.